As a beginner, if you don't have money to buy materials to practicalize, I know it can be expensive, most especially now the things are always going high and high every day in the market. You can use this method to keep learning. Hello guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Igwe Chedema, and in today's tutorial guys, I'm going to be showing you how I made this dress with a brown paper. Yes, this brown paper really helped me a lot. And I mean a lot. When I say a lot, I mean so much. It has really helped me. And that was basically when I was still learning, when I was learning how to sew. It wasn't really easy. Then I was still in school, so my pocket money was barely enough for me, much less buying materials to practice all of the thoughts. So it wasn't really easy for me at all. So basically then, after learning, after tutorial, after classes, it's usually like that for me. I don't practice, I don't practicalize all I've been taught, and it was really sad. Because I mean, how can I know that I've learned what I was taught if I don't practicalize it? Then that was when brown paper came to mind, and I thought, okay, people use this brown paper to draft out patterns and then after transfer to the fabric. What if I can actually use this to sew? And that was how I started. Then I didn't have machines, so all I had was my needle and thread, and I was using needle and thread. Each time I cut out with the brown paper, I use my needle and thread and sew, and it actually comes out very lovely. And my teacher, the lady teaching us then will always be like, wow, this is beautiful. The only thing I did was I don't usually snap it, and that was very bad of me. So guys, what I'm trying to say in this video is that as a beginner, if you don't have money to buy materials to practicalize, I know it can be expensive, most especially now the things are always going high and high every day in the market. You can use this method to keep learning. You know, in sewing, you have to keep learning, you have to keep practicing. So there is no need to say you don't have money to buy fabrics, and we all know that there are so much to buy when it comes to making a dress. You have your zip, you have the lining, and every other thing that goes into making a very nice dress. So it's quite expensive. So you can start with a brown paper, and all you need to do is just be careful, just so you don't rip the brown paper while making the clothes. So let's dive right into what we have for today guys. But remember, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so, and I'll be giving us more tutorials on brown paper, what you can actually do with brown paper, how you can make wonderful designs with brown paper. See you. So here now is our brown paper. So I made use of three pieces of brown paper for this particular project. One was for the front cutting, the second one was for the back part cutting, while the third one was for the sleeve. You know, the sleeve is having a circle flay down. So because of the way the cloth is, I'm folding this brown paper vertically. So because the cloth is a cut together kind of gown, and what I'm trying to say is that there is no half cut. You know, when there is a half cut in a cloth, then it will now require full length, half cut and full length. So there is nothing like that. So I'm just going to cut it together. So first of all, the full length of this brown paper is 40.5. So that is the full length, and that's like the full gown now. And so to start taking my measurement, the shoulder I'm working with is 14. So 14 divided by 2 is going to actually give us 7. So I marked my 7. The next thing I'm going to take is my armhole. So the armhole I'm working with is also 7. And my bust point, the bust point I'm working with is 10. So the next thing is my waist. I'm not getting my
my on the bust, because there won't be a bust here for this dress. So the next thing is the hip. And to get your hip measurement, you have to count 8 inches downwards. That's from your waist. From your waist, count 8 inches downwards. That will give you the point, the place where your hip point will be, where you take your hip measurement. You get. So to start taking our measurements now, the bust I'm working with is 9 inches. So your bust circumference divided by 4, mine is 9. Then the waist I'm working with is 7. So your waist circumference divided by 4, your round waist divided by 4. The one I'm working with is 7 inches. Then for the hip circumference divided by 4. So the hip I'm working with is 10 inches. And if you notice something, you will see that I'm not adding any allowance in this measurement. So that is because this is just a brown paper. Normally for a normal fabric, you have to add your allowance, your sewing allowance and all, but I'm not doing that here. So I'm going to draw the line down from our armhole, then giving it our armhole curve. So the next thing I'm trying to do is to connect all the points that I've made. So all the points from the bust, from the waist, and from the hip, connecting all the points together all the way down. And so for this down part now, to get that pencil shape down part, you have to take away 2 inches from whatever that you have on your hip point, right? Some people do 1.5, for me I do 2 inches. So now, since the hip I'm working with is 10, so 10 minus 2 gave me 8. So that is why I'm marking 8 down here. So it's going to give us that pencil shape down. You get right? So the next thing I want to do is to put my neckline. And for this neckline, there is going to be an off shoulder one side. So I'm taking 4 by 4, 4 inches width, 4 inches depth. We're still going to cut off one side to give it an off shoulder. The next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and cut it out. So this particular one, this front part, after we're going to be using it to cut the back part. Remember I said I'm not going to be adding any allowance, not even a zipper allowance. So this is how the clothes looks like now. So now I'm trying to get the one with the off shoulder, right? So after you must have opened up your dress like so after cutting, Then from one side of your shoulder, just gently with your free hand, connect the line like so to the armpit area, the armhole area. You cannot use ruler. I'll show you. I tried to use ruler, but it won't really work. So you have to carefully use your free hand. Then after connecting like so, just go ahead and cut it out. So I'm placing the front part to the back now to cut out the back, and if you can see, I placed it just equally on the back part. I didn't leave any zipper allowance. I'm not leaving any allowance at the back for the zipper. I won't be putting any zipper on this brand paper. I mean, it's going to be a total waste of my zip. So I just cut everything the same way. So I've cut out the back panel now. So for example, if this were to be a normal dress now, placing this front panel on the back panel, what you have to do is to make sure that the back and the front is facing each other, right side to right side, so that you'll be able to get the accurate side that you have already cut out that off shoulder, so you don't make mistakes about it. You have to place it right side facing right side, and then from there you cut the second off shoulder of the back part. Hope you understand. Just make sure you're lining it together, and then back front facing front side, the right side of the back one and the right side of the front one facing each other very well. Then hold it and then do your cutting. So when you turn it out, when you're sewing, the off shoulder is aligned on the same side. Moving over now, it's time for us to cut our sleeve. So from the sleeve of this dress, it is a 3/4 kind of sleeve with a circle flare down. So this 3/4 size I'm working with is 12 inches. So downside, we'll be attaching a circle flare to it. So first of all, you come down by 5 inches, just like the way you cut your basic sleeve. Come down from upside by 5 inches. So you take your round arm measurement. The round arm I'm working with is 6 inches. So now from this upside, from the tip, you are going to be connecting to the point where you have 5 inches. So did you see how I curved it? As you're going down, you make an arc as though you're making an S shape to connect to the point where you have where you came down by 5 inches. All right, so that's how you cut your basic sleeve. So here we are done cutting our sleeve now. It's next to the second sleeve. So placing the first sleeve on the second sleeve to cut out, we're going to cut exactly the same thing, but this upside that is looking pointed, we're not going to cut that side too, because the other one is going to be without shoulders, while this one that is pointed is the one that will be attached with shoulders. So because the next one would have a shoulder, so it's going to be like so. Okay, these little pieces over here, I'm going to use it to make a pleat. If you look at the sample of dress we're working with, there is a small pleat on the arm, on the sleeve, just before the circle flare was attached. So that's what we're going to use this one for. The width is 5 inches. So after I'm going to fold it, after cutting out, I'll fold it and then make our pleat. So moving on now, the next thing I'm trying to cut out is the circle flare that is going to be attached on the sleeve. So it's going to be a full circle, like 360-degree kind of circle. And the circumference of the arm where I'll be attaching this flare is 10.5. So 10.5 inches divided by 3.14. That will be giving us 3.34, something like that. But I'll be considering just 3 alone. The point after, I won't be considering that. I won't use it. So now I'm taking it to be 3. My circumference now to be 3. So 3 divided by 2, because you know it's a full flare. So that's why I'm dividing it again by 2. So 3 divided by 2. My 3 now is my circumference, right? Hope you understand. So divided by 2, because it's a full circle flare. So divided by 2, it will be giving me 1.5. So the full length of this circle that I want to work with is 9. The full length is 9. So 9 plus 1.5 is going to give us 10.5. I hope you get my calculations. So this is like basically how to get your circle flare, whether for a full circle flare like for skate, anything. This is how to calculate it. Okay. So I fold my paper now, first and the second. I fold it twice. So to start inputting my measurements, I check to know if it is enough. That is, if it is up to 10.5 inches. So before I'll start taking my measurement. So it's up to now. So I start by taking the circumference. Remember our circumference here is 1.5. So I take the measurement 1.5 all round, right? So from that point again, I take my 10.5. So if you don't want to take your 10.5 from the tip of this thing, just like I folded, then make sure you're putting 9. Remember I say our full length is 9, so you should place your tape to be 9 on that circle, that first little circle I made, or you do 10.5 putting your tape at the tip. I hope you understand. So we start cutting. So this is like the final thing that we're going to cut before we go ahead and start joining everything together. I'm done cutting. So joining time. Wow, we're done joining, and this is exactly what I have. How do you love the dress? I hope you will try this.